When students returned to their high school in Parkland, Florida this week, Steve Hartman was the first reporter allowed inside to hear from them. He talked to aspiring journalists who found themselves at the center of what's likely the most difficult story of their lives.
When you're on lockdown, as they were at Stoneman Douglas, teacher Eric Gardner says it's a little disconcerting having your students record you.
I'm like, I don't know how to feel right now. I'm like,
that's what you taught them, though.
Yeah, I know. They know what they're doing behind the camera. They know what they're doing in front of the camera. And it's impressive. I want to hear what's going on.
Eric is the broadcast journalism teacher at Stoneman Douglas and one of the people responsible for making these students as media savvy as they are.
It's scary because...
In fact, many of the kids you've seen on television over the past 2 weeks are his reporters. Much of the footage from inside, his photographers.
When you see that video proof, it lasts a lot longer in people's minds than just a simple statement.
If you weren't in Parkland, Florida that day, you can still connect with that anywhere around the world in any language.
This school has always had a strong broadcast journalism department. I've known about it for years. They win national awards all the time. Which is why it came as no surprise that on the very first day back at school, after everyone else went home, the student reporters stayed behind to start telling their story, their way.
Because we are the story, that just makes everything so much more powerful and more genuine.
That's the power that we have as student journalists. We get to see all the little things that make Stoneman Douglas special.
Their first project will be a documentary. It'll focus mainly on the activism that sprouted from the shooting.
In the story,
of course, a lot of these kids are the activists, pushing for change like gun control, which poses an ethical dilemma right out of the textbook.
Their passion has run into their journalism. And so...
And they're forgiven for that for the time being, right?
For right now, yes. But they're going to have to divorce themselves from that.
How are you going to separate them from the experience?
It will be tough because they're the face of the experience.
There's no black and white, it's a lot of gray.
One thing is crystal clear, however. If these kids do grow up to be journalists, they won't be the kind that sticks a camera in the face of a grieving person. They say after this experience, they've sworn off that for good.
When you're looking into the face of a friend you know and they're crying and you want to take a picture of them because you know it's this amazing shot to get, but you know, you see the recognition in their eyes. It's so much harder to do it then. And I think that's something that every journalist should recognize, that
could be my friend.
That could be my friend.
And if you just bring your empathy to this profession, I, for one, would be very grateful.
That's what we've been trying to treat everyone like we know them.
Treat everyone like you know them. Journalism 101. Steve Hartman, on the road, in Parkland, Florida.
The next generation puts us in pretty good hands. That is the CBS Evening News for this week. I'm Jeff Glor in New York. The news continues now on CBSN. They will have much more on this brutal storm that has hit the East Coast with more high winds and flooding expected. Have a good night. See you on Monday.